Gotta let everybody know you're a tourist.
What are you, a f***ing world traveler?
Some comedies fade into the background while others stay in your memory. My Cousin Vinny landed in that second group because the jokes are welded to something sturdier than just one-liners.
It's either me or them. You're getting one way or the other.
Under the loud New Yorker versus quiet Alabama setup, it's a film about proof, who gets believed, what counts as evidence, and how one small, testable detail can flip a room that already thinks it knows the answer.
It's your job to decide who's telling the truth.
People still regularly quote this film, but the lines live because the movie keeps tying them to process.
Don't shake your head. I'm not done yet. Wait till you hear the whole thing so you can understand this now.
Time, distance, and the way machines actually work. It also helps that the movie looks like what it's arguing. Costumes aren't just sight gags, they track competence.
Are you mocking me with that outfit?
Vinny's clownish suit plays as noise early, then quietly upgrades as he respects the room, while the judge's robe and postures sell procedure without speeches. Lisa's wardrobe reads flashy at first glance, but the camera treats her like a pro once she's in her lane.
Well, in what way are you qualified?
Well, my father was a mechanic. His father was a mechanic. My mother's father was a mechanic. My 3 brothers are mechanics.
Have you ever worked as a mechanic?
Yeah, in my father's garage, yeah. Tune-ups, oil changes, brake relining.
Which tells you where the film's respect actually goes, not to appearances, but to whoever can bring the fact that survives a hard question. 2 college kids stop for groceries and wind up booked for murder in a town that runs on routine, where the judge runs on order.
You know, win some, lose some.
This is not the forum to be cavalier. The jury will please disregard counsel's entire opening statement.
And their only lifeline is a cousin from Brooklyn who barely passed the bar and has never tried a case.
None. This will be my first.
What have you been doing since?
Studying for the bar. 6 years.
But on screen, it becomes a steady pivot from noise to focus as Vinny trims the nonsense. He learns the rules and points to the same instincts he's always had: reading people, hating fluff, asking the obvious question no one wants asked.
How many fingers am I holding up?
He goes straight for the soft spots in the state's story. The culture clash is there, but the film doesn't mock the South or turn the judge into a cartoon. He wants clean filings, clear grounds.
I expect you know this information when you come into my courtroom. Speak to me in a clear, intelligible voice.
And a suit that doesn't insult the room.
Mocking you? No.
Then explain that outfit.
And when Vinny shows up thinking volume can outrun procedure, he gets hit with content until he adjusts.
Oh, there's a f***ing surprise.
What'd you say?
What'd I say? What?
And starts using the court structure like rails that keep his questions straight.
Well thought out objection.
The town's rhythm matters because it shapes the jury's default setting. Everyone knows everyone, routines are rigid, and confidence reads as truth until someone slows the room down. The film leans on that pace. Shots linger just long enough for a detail to land, then cut before it turns into a lecture. You feel how a story can harden in a place where nothing changes.
And then in a most cowardly fashion, shooting the clerk in the back.
Which makes each measured question feel like a real interruption, not a trick. That's the first theme delivered without speeches. Adapt without erasing yourself. Vinny keeps the same voice and the same short tolerance for nonsense.
I got no money, a dress code problem, your life, our marriage. What else can we pile on?
But once he respects the frame, his energy stops bouncing off the walls and starts landing where it counts.
You did good out there today, Yankee. I like the competition. Makes things kind of fun, doesn't it?
I'm enjoying myself so far.
Mona Lisa Vito turns the story from a solo act into a partnership that actually works. She isn't there to soften scenes or deliver a quirky side bit.
Do you two know each other?
Yeah, she's my fiancée.
Will you please answer the counselor's question?
No, I hate him.
She's the expert, and the film treats her knowledge like real knowledge that changes outcomes rather than trivia that decorates them.
Does the defense's case hold water?
She knows which model years carried independent rear suspension and limited slip. She knows what that combo does to tire marks under load.
Would you like me to explain?
I would love to hear this.
And she knows that a 64 Skylark can't leave the same matched tracks that a car with that drivetrain can.
Is that it?
No, there's more. You see?
One mechanical fact shrinks the suspect list and clears 2 kids. Truth starts with how things work, not with who sounds confident.
How'd you like Miss Vito's testimony?
Very impressive.
She's cute too, huh?
Marissa Tomei and Joe Pesci make that idea play in the beats between lines. He moves like a guy who's always read Rooms to Survive. She talks like someone who has spent years under the hood and doesn't need your permission. The performances sell respect without turning into speeches about respect, which is much cleaner. When she answers a condescending question with patient detail,
This is your opinion?
It's a fact.
the laugh lands, but the win lands harder.
It is a trick question.
Watch how the cross-exams stack that logic piece by piece instead of reaching for a single grand gesture. Vinny isolates one detail, refuses to move until it holds, and then presses forward.
Watch this.
The cook who swears he saw the boys at a precise time ends up walking through the basics of a breakfast rush, and the simple reality that grits don't go from raw to plate instantly.
I'm a fast cook, I guess.
Are we to believe that boiling water soaks into a grit faster in your kitchen?
Which means the timeline he felt in his bones isn't as airtight as he thought.
I may have been mistaken.
The elderly neighbor who identifies the defendants from across the street becomes a quick lesson in distance, obstructions, and eyesight.
How many fingers am I holding up now? 4.
Vinny doesn't call her a liar. He makes the room feel what 60 feet and a prescription actually mean when you're looking through a window. And the confidence in her memory softens because a measurement replaced a feeling.
That's half the distance.
None of this is flashy, which is exactly why it works. The movie never begs you to accept a moral claim about unreliable witnesses. It just lays out the math and lets you sit in it.
The defense rests.
Editing keeps the arguments digestible. Scenes start late, end on the point, and cut on the reveal, which teaches you how to watch the case without drawing a red circle on the screen. The rhythm is simple on purpose, so the technical stuff lands for anyone willing to follow a straight line. Even the running sleep gag is doing real work.
What the f is that?
Every night brings a new noise, trains, whistles, animals, and every morning he looks worse because he's trying to force perfect conditions that don't exist. He finally sleeps in a louder place because he stops fighting the environment and picks one he can function in. And that moment mirrors the courtroom arc beat for beat as he stops wrestling the frame, and watches the same personality that used to get him in trouble start winning him the moments that matter.
Now, can you tell us if the defense's case holds water?
The judge is the anchor for all of this. He doesn't care about charm or panic, he cares about the record.
Request denied.
Thanks a lot.
I'd like to speak to you in my chambers.
And while a lot of the courtroom movies pretend a big speech can melt the system, this one says something cleaner and more useful. Earn your turn with procedure.
Your Honor, please, huh?
Oh,
Put something testable on the table and we'll listen. Vinny's best moves are short questions with hard edges, not monologues.
Is it possible you just saw 2 guys in a green convertible?
I suppose.
The big emotional release is reserved for the crowd, not the court, which keeps the win tied to facts instead of feelings. The underdog angle plays because nothing about the opposition is a joke. The prosecutor is competent, the witnesses sound and believable,
I heard a gunshot, so I looked out the window and I seen them 2 boys.
and for a long stretch the boys look guilty. The state has a clean story that fits on a napkin while the defense has questions and patience, which is why the win feels earned when it finally comes.
In light of Miss Vito's and Mr. Wilbert's testimony,
When Lisa lays out why those tire tracks require a drivetrain the defendant's car didn't have, it lands like the end of a line the movie's been drawing since the first cross-exam. Same with the kitchen timeline. Once you feel how long grits actually take and how far 60 feet really is, the obvious story that everyone trusted goes soft, and you don't feel tricked, you feel more corrected.
Thank you, Ms. Vito.
There's a quiet ethics lesson tucked in there too. Humility beats swagger when the stakes are real. The film never says that out loud, but it shows it. Ask, check, and let the better fact win, even if it bruises your ego.
What the hell was that all about back there?
I had a friend send a fax to the judge.
There's a class thread running under everything the film doesn't point at but keeps honoring. Lisa's knowledge reads blue collar, which is why people underestimate it. She isn't quoting a manual, she's speaking from doing the work, and the movie treats that fluency as decisive rather than cute.
Lovely witness.
Vinny's edge comes from the same place. He has failed in public, learned by repetition, and knows how quickly a confident memory falls apart when you press on the parts that can be measured.
What are these thousands of little things that are on trees?
Together, they don't perform genius, they practice it. No swelling strings, no slow clap, just the right fact at the right time with nowhere to hide.
The defense is wrong.
The sound design backs the joke and the logic at the same time. The train represents the rhythm of a town you can't bend, and the quiet beats in court let the questions breathe so the room can hear the flaws. You feel the difference between noise that distracts you and silence that forces you to think.
Just this?
The rhythm stays lean so the argument never gets muddy. Scenes start late, end on the point, and move on.
Dress appropriately.
You were serious about that?
By the end, nobody is reborn into a new archetype. The judge is still the judge, the town still runs on formality, and Vinny and Lisa leave as themselves, just sharper and more aligned. The boys walk free not because the system grew a heart, but because the room had to accept how things actually work.
I'm honored to shake your hand.
Which is cleaner than a redemption speech and more useful outside the theater. Strip it down and the movie keeps returning to a short list you can take with you. Don't confuse confidence with proof, or titles with competence, or memory with measurement. Learn the frame so your argument gets heard. Ask the question that turns a neat story into parts you can touch. Time, distance, mechanism. And find people who know what you don't. Then let them lead when it's their turn.
Thank you very, very much.
That's why the quotes still have juice years later. They're funny, but they're tied to the process, which means the humor keeps you engaged while the evidence carries the day, and the lesson follows you out of the movie. When a claim sounds airtight, press on the piece that actually matters, and if it holds, keep it, but if it cracks, it doesn't matter who said it or how smooth they sounded. That's My Cousin Vinny, not just a comfort rewatch with a few evergreen bits, but a clean, compact reminder that the smallest correct detail, delivered at the right moment, can beat the loudest story in the room.